Imagine waking up and, before you even brush your teeth, feeling your heart beating faster than a lively Sunday samba. Now imagine if all that anxiety isn't coming from bills, but from the seemingly harmless cup of coffee. Have you ever wondered why, after you turn 60, that beloved cup of coffee starts to bring more agitation than comfort? In this video, you'll discover how coffee can turn a peaceful morning into a roller coaster of restlessness. And more importantly, I'll show you tasty and comforting alternatives that can bring back calm and pleasure to your afternoons. You'll understand why anxiety, which seemed like a problem for young people, can become an unwanted visitor right now, when what you're looking for most is peace and quiet. I'll reveal new ways to enjoy energy without that butterflies in your stomach or shaky hands after coffee. It's possible to wake up feeling refreshed, but without feeling your heart want to jump out of your chest. This isn't an empty promise. There are people who have already swapped coffee for other beverages and gone back to sleeping like a baby without waking up with a start in the middle of the night. The truth is that as the years go by, our bodies change the way they deal with caffeine. The metabolism slows down, like an old car that takes a long time to start. This makes the effects of coffee last longer and cause symptoms that previously went unnoticed. Did you know that more than 65% of people over 60 notice increased anxiety after drinking coffee? This is no exaggeration. It's as if the radio in the living room, the model that only works by turning the knob very slowly, suddenly had the volume turned up to full. Impossible to ignore. Take a deep breath. Let this information sink in for a moment. Anxiety isn't just that feeling of your heart racing. It shows up in details. Difficulty concentrating on the morning newspaper, sweaty hands when calling a friend, or that feeling that something is always about to happen. Who has never put sugar in place of salt in their rice because they were too distracted? It may seem funny, but these little slip-ups show how anxiety can get in the way of even the simplest daily tasks. The question is, does coffee really need to be the center of every ritual? What if it is possible to recapture the calm of childhood afternoons, when everything seemed slower, just by changing what goes in the cup? In the next section, I will present you with alternatives that have won over those who seek energy without losing peace. But if coffee has been part of her routine for so many years, why question it now? Let's meet Laura, who until recently believed that a steaming cup was her greatest morning pleasure. At 72 years old, she would wake up early, prepare strong coffee while the house was still quiet, and feel the aroma fill the kitchen. It was almost a ritual. But as the months went by, something began to change. Laura noticed that when she held the cup, her fingers were no longer as steady. Her heart was beating faster, even though she was in no rush to do anything. And that feeling of butterflies in her stomach, previously reserved for party days, became her daily companion. She tried to read the newspaper, but the letters seemed to jump from line to line. The discomfort became so common that Laura began to avoid conversations in the morning. So irritated and difficult was she to concentrate. Small, everyday gestures, like watering the plants or setting the table, began to require more effort and patience. Could it just be age? The truth is that as we age, our bodies respond differently to caffeine. The technical term that explains part of this phenomenon is caffeine half-life, pause. This means that the substance takes longer to be eliminated by the body, prolonging its effects. As a result, that energy that seemed so welcome turns into persistent restlessness. Have you ever felt like time is passing by, but your body can't keep up? It's not just an impression. Recent studies indicate that around 40% of elderly people report difficulty relaxing or even sleeping after drinking coffee, even in the morning. Imagine spending the night counting sheep, waiting for sleep that never comes. The belief that coffee is indispensable, almost like an old friend, begins to waver in light of these data. Is true comfort really found in a dark cup? Or is it habit, the smell, the memory of times when everything seemed simpler? Perhaps the answer lies in small gestures, like the sound of the kettle on the stove or the sweet taste of a buttery biscuit. Who has never spilled a little coffee on their grandmother's tablecloth and laughed afterwards? Time passes, but the search for well-being remains. What if there are other ways to find energy and comfort without giving up tranquility? In the next few moments, we will explore these possibilities together. Have you ever heard that story that if you've been used to drinking coffee your whole life, your body learns to tolerate it and the effects of anxiety simply disappear over time? It seems logical, but in practice, it doesn't work that way for everyone. The body can adapt to some extent, but metabolism changes with age, and what used to be just a cup of coffee can actually become an invitation for your heart to race and your hands to sweat. Studies show that even for those who have always been coffee fans, sensitivity to caffeine can increase after the age of 60 because the body starts to process this substance more slowly. It's like an old car that suddenly starts to need different fuel to run well, and sticking with the old habit just because it worked before can bring more discomfort than pleasure. Have you ever noticed any of these changes in your body? Many people are surprised to discover that cutting coffee out of their routine doesn't mean giving up energy or disposition. Some people believe that coffee alone gives them that push to start the day, but that's a myth. The technical term placebo fits here. It's when we expect an effect, and just out of habit, we think it's happening. You know when you pretend to take a bitter medicine just to please your grandmother, and suddenly you start to feel better? The brain loves a good story. The real benefit can be found in other rituals: an herbal tea, a light walk in the morning, or even the company of a friend to talk to. Notice how a simple smile or a hug also energizes, without needing any caffeine. Contrary to what is generally thought, anxiety is not just a passing nervousness or something easy to control with willpower. The technical term physiological response means that the entire body reacts, from the heartbeat to the breathing. Imagine an alarm that goes off too loudly when someone accidentally bumps into it. Sometimes, just changing the volume can make all the difference. Recognizing that anxiety is something physical makes it easier to find gentler and more effective solutions. So, have you ever felt your body reacting in an unexpected way after a cup of coffee? Now, I want to ask you, have you ever experienced something similar? How is your body dealing with coffee today? Share in the comments, because your experience can help others feel less alone. And if this topic resonates with you, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. So let's continue together in this search for balance, with good humor and less caffeine, of course. In the next section, we will explore practical options to transform your routine and restore well-being. Take a deep breath and come with me on this journey of self-care. What if you tried swapping your morning coffee for a chamomile and ginger infusion? Many people doubt that a caffeine-free cup can help you stay awake, but the combination of these two plants is surprising. Chamomile calms you down, while ginger offers a gentle boost to your body, without that spike in anxiety. To try it, simply boil a cup of water. Add a teaspoon of dried chamomile flowers and 3 thin slices of fresh ginger. Cover, let it steep for 6 minutes, strain and drink while still warm. The immediate benefit? A feeling of comfort and lightness in your stomach, perfect for those who wake up with a racing heart. A practical tip: if you want to change it up, add a slice of lemon, which provides freshness and vitamin C. Many people have found that walking first thing in the morning, even for 10 minutes, helps to banish drowsiness without needing coffee. During breakfast, instead of reaching for the coffee maker, how about putting on a pair of comfortable sneakers and going out to feel the fresh air? Gentle movement activates circulation and releases endorphins, those natural substances that make you feel good. For those over 60, this habit also contributes to joint health and improves your mood throughout the day. The tip is to choose a safe and flat route and, if possible, invite a friend or neighbor. In addition to making the moment more enjoyable, the commitment as a couple increases motivation. Contrary to what you might think, replacing coffee with green tea can be an interesting alternative for those who don't want to give up a little energy but want to avoid excess caffeine. Green tea contains a stimulant called theanine, which, unlike pure caffeine, provides alertness and relaxation. To prepare, heat 200 milliliters of water until it starts to bubble. Turn off the heat. Add a teaspoon of green tea leaves and wait 2 minutes. Strain and drink without sugar. The flavor is mild, and it's worth adding a dash of honey to soften the bitterness. Now imagine Paulo, who always started the day with 2 cups of strong coffee and ended it anxious and with a tight chest. One day, he decided to try a morning walk. He felt the morning chill on his face, heard the birds singing, and to his surprise, on the 3rd day, he woke up more cheerful and less irritable. Adaptation is like changing from tight shoes to slippers. At first, it feels strange, but then you appreciate it. Have you tried any of these changes? Share your experience in the comments and inspire others to seek new paths to well-being. In addition to the alternatives already mentioned, there is another often underestimated solution: the conscious breathing technique. Taking a few minutes in the morning or before bed to take deep breaths, counting to 4 when inhaling and to 6 when exhaling, helps to calm the nervous system and reduce anxiety effortlessly. This practice, combined with short breaks throughout the day, can be a real balm for those who feel their heart racing for no apparent reason. Another interesting option is to prepare an infusion of fennel and honey, which, in addition to providing digestive comfort, has a slightly relaxing effect and a comforting flavor that takes you back to childhood. Here's the mini recipe. Add a teaspoon of fennel seeds to a cup of boiling water. Cover and let it infuse for 8 minutes. Strain, sweeten with a teaspoon of honey, and drink while still warm. The soft aroma and delicate sweetness bring a feeling of embrace, the kind that only a grandmother could give, and who knows, awaken memories of quiet afternoons in the backyard, listening to old stories and laughing at simple things. Returning to our friend Paulo, after a few weeks of incorporating his morning walk and swapping coffee for a nice tea, he noticed tangible changes. His hands stopped shaking, his sleep became deeper, and one afternoon, he found himself humming while arranging books on the shelf, something he hadn't done in years. Anxiety gave way to a steady serenity, as if he had rediscovered a natural rhythm, the same one he felt when he was a boy and helped his mother in the kitchen, waiting for the bread to bake and feeling the aroma fill the house. Of course, it's not always easy to give up old habits. On the hardest days, Paulo would allow himself a decaf coffee or call a friend to talk. The secret is not to demand perfection from yourself, but to gradually build a more gentle routine. And if you feel like going back, remember, every small choice is a step towards a lighter life. To recap, cutting down on caffeine, trying calming teas, walking outdoors, and practicing conscious breathing are all concrete ways to reduce anxiety and restore well-being. These benefits go beyond the body and touch the heart, such as peaceful nights of sleep, spontaneous laughter, and more energy to enjoy the day. Now, I want to invite you to try one of these suggestions this week. How about starting with a fennel tea and sharing how you felt? If you liked the content, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share it with those who are also looking for quality of life. There are many good things to come, so stay tuned. Before we finish, a reminder: always consult a health professional before changing your routine, especially if you are taking medication. Take a moment now to take a deep breath and ask yourself, what small gesture can you adopt today to take better care of yourself? Remember, life is like the aroma of freshly brewed tea. All it takes is a pause to notice the difference.